Right, we are going to look at solving of algebraic fractions today, and we are going to look at how to solve for x when there are algebraic equations involved. Alright, so this is an equation, not an expression. You will notice that there is an equal sign. And because there is an equal sign, okay, which is here, let me just highlight it. Ta-da! Alright, we can get rid of the denominator at one go by using the LCM. I repeat, by using the LCM, we can try to get rid of the denominator to make the solving a lot easier. So we are not going to deal with denominators, and it doesn't look like a fraction anymore, so that it's easier for us to solve. Now, 4 and 6, the LCM is actually not 4 times 6, which is 24, because there is a number that is smaller. Alright, so LCM of 4 and 6 is actually 12. Alright, so if you're not sure how to do that, you can use the ladder method. 2, carry down the 3, and then you have 1 and 1. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. That's how you get the LCM of 12. Alright, now what we're going to do is that we're going to use this LCM of 12, right, to multiply both sides. Alright, so we're going to times 12 and times 12. So this is different from adding and subtracting of algebraic fractions. That one, we still need it to be a fraction. That's why we have to make them equal. We multiply the top and bottom. But for this one here, we're trying to get rid of it. Alright, so I'm going to use a different color here. So what we're going to have is that the 6 and the 12, we can divide it out. 12 divided by 6 is actually 2. Right, I'm going to use a different color here. Then 4 and 12, I can divide out. 12 divided by 4 is actually 3. Alright, so what we're going to have left is that we have 3 times of x minus 5. So we have 3 times of x plus 5. And we have 2 times x, which will give me 2x. Alright, now we want to solve this, but you notice that this is still in a bracket. So you have to do what we call an expansion. Alright, so we have here, so we have 3 and x plus 5. So we have 3x plus 15. So we are expanding on the left hand side. Alright, so once we have that, we have 3x plus 15 equals to 2x. We want to solve for x, right? So what we will need to do is that we will need to make sure that the like terms are all on the same side. And use a different color again. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do a minus 2x on both sides. Why? Because I want all the x to be together. And since 3x is bigger on the left hand side, I'm going to make it all on the left hand side. So right hand side, nothing is left, nothing means 0. Okay? And this side here, we got that. And this side here, we are going to do a normal subtraction. So 3x minus 2x is just x. So x plus 15 equals to 0. Now remember, 2x minus 2x is 0. Now we're going to solve for x, right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to do a balancing again. Minus 15, because we don't want to have any other number on the left hand side except for x. And that's how we get x equals to negative. Simple enough. Alright, so just remember, using the LCM, we can get rid of them together. Alright, now, what about this one here, where we actually have 2 different types of denominators? Okay, so we have here and here. So our LCM is just going to be x and x minus 9. Right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to multiply x and x minus 9. Again, I'm going to write this as a bracket. So this side, I'm also going to do same x and x minus 9. So we're going to multiply both sides by the LCM. Alright? Let me just use a different color so that we can see the contrast. So x minus 9 and x minus 9 can be divided out. So this is the only thing that we have left. Alright? And for the other side, x and x can be divided out. and this is what you will have left. Alright? Okay, so now how do we put them all together? So we have 10 and x minus 9 on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we have 6 times x is just 6x. Similarly, we will have to expand the left hand side. Okay, so we can put that here. Okay, so again, we will do an expansion. 10 times of x minus 9. Right? Sorry, x minus 9. So we will have 10x and minus 9t. Alright, so we have, let's change color back in. So we have 10x minus 9t equals to 6x. What we'll do is will be similar to the previous one, okay, where we will have to just do a subtraction for the 6x again, yeah? Alright, so what we will have is that we will have to, let me just choose a different color here. So we have a minus 6x and a minus 6x here. Let's divide our minuses out, and we are just going to settle this part here. Alright, so we will have 10x minus 6x is 4x minus 9t. Now 6x minus 6x is actually 0, similar to the previous one that we did. Alright, and again, you notice that we have a minus 9t here. We have to balance it up. To get it to be 0, right, we have to add a plus 9t on both sides. Alright, because minus 9t and plus 9t, to get it to be 0, yeah, we have to use the opposite sign. Alright, so next thing, we will have 4x equals to 9t. So how are we going to actually get the answer out? Very simple. We are going to divide both sides by 4. Why? Because of the 4 here. Alright, so when we use a 4, we can divide out the 4. That's why we have to divide both sides by 4. So our final answer, x is equals to, you can use your calculator, 90 divided by 4, you'll be able to get it as 22.5. Now, those of you who want to write your answer as 22.5, it is also okay, it is acceptable. Right? Let's move on. Now, what if we have a case like this where we have 3 different terms, right? But the same thing will still work where we are only going to look at the LCM. Alright, so here 4 and 5. So LCM is actually 4 times 5, which is actually 20. So we're going to multiply by 20 for everybody. Alright, so let's do that. So we have a times 20 for the right hand side, times 20 for this term here, and we also have a times 20 for this term here. There are only 2 of them that we can divide out because there are only 2 of them with the denominator. So again, I'm going to use different colors here. Okay, so 4 and 20, 20 divided by 4 is actually 5. So I have 5 and 2x minus 1 left. I'm going to use this color here to write out. Alright, different color. So this time here we have 5 and 20. 20 divided by 5 is actually 4. So we have 4 bracket x minus 1. The x minus 1 is actually from here. Alright, and finally, on the other side, 2 times 20 is just 40. No dividing because there was no denominator for the 2. Only the other 2 had. Now, how do we continue from here? So we will do the same thing as what we did earlier on, where we have to expand it now. Alright, so we have 5 and 2x minus 1. It's 10x minus 5. So I'm just using this color here to show the difference. And for the other one, we will have 4 and x minus 1. So we have 4x minus 4. And of course, we still have the equals to 40 on the right hand side. Like terms can be added up. So as you can see from here, let me choose different color. Okay, here. 10x and 4x, it can be added up. So we are going to get it as 14x. Alright, and we will have negative 5 and negative 4. You can press your calculator, it will give you negative 9. Alright, on the right hand side, it's just 40, no difference. So same thing, how are we going to do the balancing? So we're going to use a opposite sign. So minus 9 plus 9. So we do a plus 9 on both sides of the equation. So this one is 0. What we're going to have is that we're going to have 14x equals to 49. Same thing, because of the 14, we're going to use a divide by 14 on both sides so that the 14 can be divided out. And finally, you can use your calculator. So 49 divided by 14, so you'll be able to get it as 3.5. You may also write your answer as 7 over 2, or you may also write your answer as 3.5 here. Alright? Okay, so now, another question like this, and you will be wondering, this is true, why another one with the 3 terms? Okay, this is because I wanted to highlight the fact about the LCM of 4 and 2. Now, remember earlier on, we also had 4 and 5, right? Then we got the LCM as 20. But 4 and 2, right, the LCM is not 8, because if you do this ladder way, right, 4 and 2, you realize that we can use 2 to divide first, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Then 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 1. So my LCM, right, is actually 4, right? So I'm going to write down here, LCM is actually 4. So what we will need to do is that we're going to multiply by 4 for everybody. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Times 4, times 4, times 4. So for the first one, very simple. 4 and 4 divides out very nicely. The only thing that's left is 6x minus 1. So we're just going to write a 6x minus 1 here. Now the next one, you have to be a little bit more careful, alright? Because 4 and 2, right? 4 divided by 2 is a 2. But there is a minus sign there. So please write the minus 2. Okay, so the 2 was from here, right? Sorry. Alright? So the minus 2 is there. And we have this thing here. 5 minus 2x. So we're going to write 5 minus 2x as a bracket. Alright? And on the other side, 1 times 4 is just 4. Now, only the blue colored one will need to be expanded out, alright, which is down here. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to do the simple way again, which is this way here. Negative 2, 5 minus 2x. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 2 times negative 2x will be plus 4x. Alright, so I'm just going to use colors first to differentiate all of them. So 6x minus 1. Then we have the expanded one here, which is negative 10 plus 4x. Be very careful of your sign. And on the other side is the 4 that we have not done anything with it yet. Alright? Same thing. Same terms can be added up. So 6x and 4x, you can add it into 10x. And then we can also have negative 1 minus 10, which will give me negative 11. Be very careful if you need to use your calculator. Alright, and on the right hand side we still have a 4. Same thing, we're going to do a balancing. Alright, so we're going to have a plus 11 plus 11. Why? Because negative 11 and 11, you have to use the opposite sign to get it to 0. Right? So now we will have 10x equals to 4 plus 11 will be 15. So in the same manner, we're going to divide both sides by 10 so that this can be divided out. So our final answer will be x equals to 1.5. Now, if you want to leave your answer as 3 over 2, or you want to leave your answer as 1.5 is also fine. Alright? So just remember, for equations, we can use the LCM to get rid of the denominator at the very beginning. So we multiply everybody with the LCM, and there's no more denominator, and it will make it a lot